How's it going, gang? It's a final render here, and yesterday on August 20th, 2019, we finally got patch 12 inside Fallout 76. This is the patch we've been waiting for a very long time because it adds some incredible new features to Fallout 76. Firstly, it adds for display cases. These were meant to be added during the Wild Appalachia season of DLC, but they were delayed for whatever reason, but now they are finally here. We also got some changes to Nuclear Winter to allow you to purchase perk cards using Overseer tickets, and also, of course, we got the Vault Raids. The Vault Raids are something people have been looking forward to for a very long time. Very tough challenges that are designed for high-level players, and we have got a bunch of missions to do over the next few weeks. So we're going to take a look at these Vault Raids and some of the other features and talk about the patch as a whole. But before you do that, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you are a fan of the Vault Raids or you want to see more content from this channel. So the Vault Raids themselves are very different to any other piece of content we have had inside Fallout 76 thus far. The Vault Raids themselves here are extremely difficult. A big criticism of Fallout 76, pretty much since the beginning, ever since they started adding new DLC of content, is that there hasn't been any difficult content come out. It's all been content suitable for all player skills, all player levels, but now we finally have something that is extremely difficult. This challenge states that you need to have a team of 4 players go into a vault, and you are recommended to all be at least level 50 in order to stand a chance of completing this challenge. And I'll tell you what, guys, that's definitely something you want to pay attention to. These Vault Raids are small little team missions where you have to go in by yourself as a team. And this actually utilizes a brand new piece of technology inside Fallout 76, their new instancing technology. So therefore, it will only be you and your team inside this vault. There won't be other players coming in to help you out, so you can't rely on strength and numbers. It's you and your team, and you have no backup at all. And when you go into these vaults, you need to complete various tasks inside your mission. In this case, the very first mission, called Dead in the Water, we have to stop a huge flood that is occurring inside Vault 94, and we have to go into 6 rooms and complete various challenges in order to do so. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice by looking at some of the footage from inside this vault is that there is plant life and growth everywhere. The story behind this vault was that they actually were given a Gek inside this vault, a Garden of Eden creation kit, and things have gone a little bit wrong. So therefore we have lots of nasty enemies. The mission Dead in the Water entirely focuses on water creatures, so lots of Mirelurks, lots of Mirelurk queens, and it's also still got a huge amount of feral ghouls, presumably the former inhabitants of Vault 94. But we do know for a fact that the next mission coming out will also include honey beasts, and there is another mission which will also include just more bugs. So we have got one mission which involves creatures from the sea and one bugs. Lovely. Definitely looking forward to that, of course. And something really cool about these Vault Raids is that they are genuinely hard challenges with genuinely very tough enemies. Most of these Mirelurk enemies in this first mission are anywhere from rank 50 all the way up to rank 85. Now, whilst I'm sure you're saying, "Final render, you sexy man stud, I eat level 85s for breakfast." Well, I'll tell you, firstly, you should change your diet, and secondly, when you actually consider that these are Mirelurks, level 85 ones are very dangerous, and we really need to take that into consideration when you are going against the difficulty factor of your squad. You need to determine, can you actually take on that many Mirelurks at once? And something else which is really cool about this Vault Raid as well is that, seeing as it is kind of a locked and closed environment, you feel like you are getting swarmed constantly, and you really are. This vault task is throwing enemies at you left, right, and center. There are so many enemies always coming for you inside this Vault Raid, and you really need to be prepared. It says you need to be at least level 50 recommended, but honestly, I'm willing to say you should probably be much higher than level 50 before you come in. I'm willing to say you should probably be at least level 85 maybe, and that goes for your entire team as well. Although that being said though, if you know the answers to the puzzles, which we'll talk about more later on, and you are very good at avoiding trouble, then you should be okay. But there's only one part of this Vault Raid that requires you to actually kill a monster, and that is the very last part, in which case you'll definitely need lots of high damage per second in order to kill that final boss. But until that stage, you actually can just get through every single room without actually killing anything. So you could do it at a lower level, but you're definitely going to have a hard time. And also something I want to say about this vault raid as well is that it is very much close combat. There are mirelurks everywhere, there are feral ghouls charging at you. If you have a gun-based class, you are going to struggle with this. I'm willing to say melee is king here, as it's always been inside Fallout 76, and you are going to have a very hard time if you are, say, a stealth build or a sniper build. Although, I am willing to say, if you do have good sneak skill and stuff, it actually could save you a lot of heartache just by mirelurks not hearing you as soon as they normally would. And of course, these vault raids, as I said, are not just about killing monsters. Only one part is about killing monsters. The rest of it is about problem solving and trying to find a puzzle. And these are actually, for the most part, just about finding object A and bringing it to object B. There are ones where you have to, say, find a key in order to open the main room. And in order to do that, you need to find another key in a different room. And to find that key, you need to find that key in a different room. And the key to that room is somewhere on a shelf. And that's how it goes. You need to find all the keys in order to get to the next part of the room. There are other ones which are very, very difficult, to where you actually have to do 6 puzzles in a row. And if you get one of them wrong, you have to start them all over again. So this actually does cause a trouble when you play on later difficulties, because these vaults have a difficulty. And something which I think is fantastic about the difficulty is that they don't just throw more enemies at you. As far as I'm aware, they don't really change the difficulty of the enemies at all. What they do instead is give you a time limit. And this is definitely the best way to shake it up, because when you have these time limits, you really can't make a mistake at all. And you need to know exactly how to solve every single puzzle. If you get lost inside this vault, which is very easy to get lost when you're searching for keys, etc., you will definitely run out of time and you will fail. And if you fail the entire event as a whole, then you will actually have to go back to the very start of the raid and complete all the challenges you have already done. You have to get it all right every single time in order to stand a chance of beating the vault raid within the required difficulty. And of course, that brings me on to the difficulties themselves. There are 3 types of difficulty. There is 1, the novice difficulty, and this is pretty much the exact same raid. However, you don't actually have a requirement to do it in a certain time. There's no time limit on it. And then, of course, you have the standard difficulty mode, and the standard difficulty mode gives you a time in order to beat every challenge, and this time can be reset every time you complete a room. And you can also be given extra time by repairing pipes. On the novice difficulty, on the standard difficulty, sorry, you get roughly 20 seconds added to your time every time you repair a leaking pipe that you can see throughout the vault. So you do actually get a nice amount of time, but you have to get everything right, as I said. If you get one thing wrong and you waste that precious time, you might as well start the event again, because you are going to fail and you need a lot of resources in order to complete these events. With there being lots of water around and lots of plant life, radiation is pretty extreme in some of these areas, and you also need to hang around a lot of the workings of the vault, which means going near a lot of the nuclear reactors, again giving you loads of rads. You need to bring a lot, and I mean a lot, of radaway and a lot of stim packs. On our successful run where we did it on the standard, I probably used about 30 to 40 radaway and probably even more stim packs than that. You really need to pay attention to how many resources you have. And as I said, it is mostly going to be a melee kind of raid. So ammo, obviously bring more, bring as much as you can. But chances are your best option is to go with a melee build, so you don't have to worry too much about your ammo itself. And of course you may be saying, final render, what do we actually get for completing these raids on the different difficulties? Well, you charismatic stallion, in order to get some of the cool rewards, you need to beat them on the various difficulties. When you complete it on the novice difficulty, you get something called Vault 94 Steel, and that is the crafting resource you use in order to make some new armor sets. And these armor sets you get the plans for by completing the raid on the standard and the expert mode only. You cannot get armor plans for beating it on the novice difficulty. You have to beat it on the normal standard one or the expert one. And when you actually go and beat the event itself, typically you also get some gear along the way. They give you a new item, which is actually ammo components. So they give you a little box which has got loads of components to make ammo. Actually, very useful actually, with lots of lead, lots of gunpowder in it and stuff like that. They also give you some legendary items, of course. There are 1 or 2 legendaries in here. And one nice thing is that when you complete the event at the end, there should be a trunk which contains a 3-star legendary in there. So that's very cool. You get a legendary weapon and you get some of the plans to make this new power armor. And also something I would say as well is that this is by no means a kind of XP farm or some kind of legendary farm. People have noticed that you actually don't get that much XP at all by going and killing a lot of the monsters in here. But I'm going to be very frank with you, Fallout 76 community. If you can survive this vault, you probably don't need to worry about XP. You probably don't need to worry about it. It's not really a reward at this stage. You probably don't even care. Like real life, experience is not a form of payment. And something else which needs to be said as well is that when you actually get the plans to make the power armor pieces, you need a lot, and I mean a lot, of steel. And you get a very small amount of it for completing the raids. When we've gone and completed these raids twice now, we did it once on Novice and once on Normal. I was given 2 Vault Steel for completing it on the Novice, and I was given 4 for beating it on the Standard. But in order to make the legendary power armor piece, I need at least 30 pieces of Vault 94 steel. And also something else to consider is that you can only get rewards for doing the raid once per day, once per difficulty. So in other words, you can get maybe, I don't know, 12 steel a day if it goes up incrementally. So it will take you 3 days to make 1 piece of armor. Bethesda, I'm going to be a little bit honest here. That grind is too long. Something we've actually said multiple times in the community is that we don't want to grind for our rewards. We want to get the reward, if that makes sense. Because here's the brutally honest truth. I have plenty of good power armors already. I don't know if I'm willing to go to the grind in order to get these new ones. I just don't think it'll be worth it. And I did look a little bit at the stats of it, and yes, there is very good power armor, the ones you get at the end for completing these raids. But that is such a long grind, I don't even think I'll bother. Especially considering I actually get more carry weight and typically more benefits by not using my power armor with all the backpack mods and stuff like that. So for the most part, it's definitely a good thing if you want a challenge, something to aim for, but I honestly don't think you should do this expecting to get a cool reward. I think you should do it because you want the challenge itself. So that's what I think of the actual Vault Raids, people. The Vault Raids, I think, are really, really good. They're well designed. The challenges are actually very challenging, but time limit is a really good way to do it. They do have some nice things in there as well, like they do have some areas where there aren't any enemies and your timer is paused. So it means you can repair some of your weapons, repair some of your armor, eat some food, and then get ready for the next part of the raid. And the cool thing about these raids as well is that they are long. When we beat it for the first time on the Novice difficulty, it took us an hour to beat the Vault Raid. 1 hour. And then on the second time, when we actually did it on our kind of standard mode, when it was only 2 of us, on the Novice one we had 3 of us, it took us 40 minutes. So as you start to learn the Vault, you start to get quicker at the challenges, but it's still a nice long challenge. It's something which takes time. And I'm sure, kind of similar to launching a nuke, as people know the answers to the puzzles, they start to know all the way around the vault, they will actually start to beat them much, much quicker. But it is a nice length, which I think is fantastic. There are too many challenges in 76, which are over very, very quickly. So I'm very, very happy that we have a long challenge in here. But there is one thing which I have to emphasize, and I'm putting this down as a bug or a server issue. There are times when you are doing these vault raids that there is an exceptionally long amount of lag when trying to do certain tasks. I'm talking about tasks like opening a door can sometimes take 6 seconds or so. Sometimes accessing a terminal, you'll get stuck in the terminal and it can take another 6 or 7 seconds in order to get out of it. Sometimes the markers don't appear on the compass quick enough. And honestly, we wasted so much time waiting for doors to open.
Come on, open the damn door.
There's nothing else to repair.
No, it's done. We just need to go in that door. Open the door.
Okay, yeah, it's taken so long to just die. Everything's too slow to respond.
Like, what if you got to this point and you ran out of time? Would you fail because the door wouldn't open in time?
Yeah, you'd fail. You'd totally fail. Come on.
Come on.
Button. Spam.
Come on, this is getting ridiculous. There's less than a minute left. Yes, we'd love to enter the pump control station.
It's been like 30-40 seconds. Come on. Open the button. Button. Yeet.
Seriously. Now, there we go. Open the friggin' door.
Ugh.
Thank God. Alright.
If we failed our mission because the door just did not open when we hit the button because of server lag, I would flip a table. Because it takes a lot of resources, a lot of effort, and if we fail because the servers can't keep up with the players, I'm sorry, there's a problem. Bethesda, please tighten up this little bit of lag when it comes to opening doors. But besides that, the actual vault itself ran very well, very smooth FPS in there, especially considering the huge amount of enemies we had to deal with. It was pretty darn incredible. So overall, Vault Raid, I think, is a total success, and next week, of course, there will be a new mission. They rotate the missions out every week, so we have Dead in the Water for this week, and then next week, we will have a new mission, which by the look of it is gonna include bugs. Lovely. But of course, there were some other things that were introduced into patch 12, like we got the Nuclear Winter perk overhaul. This is a really nice thing. Now, when you play Nuclear Winter, you definitely get a perk card every single time you rank up, which is a really nice thing. And also, you actually get back all the perk cards retroactively if you've already played Nuclear Winter. So when I went and leveled up one more time on Nuclear Winter, on one of my characters who I think was a level 36, I was given maybe 16 perk cards by the game in order to give me back some of those perk cards which I had lost, which was very nice and considerate of them. And now, inside Nuclear Winter, when you get duplicates, you can now purchase the cards you want using currency gained via those duplicates. Every duplicate you get gives you one Overseer ticket, and every single perk costs a certain amount of Overseer tickets. I'm sure you all guys are going to wonder, how much is Frog Legs? Frog Legs, I believe, was 10 Overseer tickets. So therefore, I'll definitely go and save up in order to buy that one. That way, I can actually kind of compete in Nuclear Winter for a change, which is something very, very nice indeed. And of course, we also had the camp decoration inside the patch 12. Really nice overall. You know, we are able to get some little things to display some of our goods. We've got some weapon racks. We've got some glass display cases. We've got some magazine racks. And there isn't too much to say about them. They just work. There are some things to be noted, like some of the objects you can display actually do glitch through some of the display cases. So putting just every single item into a certain display case may not be a good idea. You may have to only put big things in the bigger ones, for example, despite the fact that it actually allows you to put the big objects inside the small display cases. And also, there are no armor racks. Armor racks are noticeably absent. So we can actually display our helmets inside our glass display cases, but there is no way to actually display clothing. So I'm really hoping that at some point soon we will get actual armor racks, you know, kind of mannequins. That will be a really good thing to have because it is very noticeably absent. But besides that though, patch 12 I think has been fantastic. There's also been a bunch of other things they have done, like they've gone ahead and made it so joining events is free. They've made it so just getting into community events is much quicker and easier and doesn't cost any caps in order to kind of encourage you to do community events more often. And overall, the actual patch, I think, has been a great success. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you like the video and write in the comments what you think the best part about the vault raids are. I personally love the kind of location itself and the fact that it is genuinely difficult. If you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, that'll be very much appreciated. We'll probably do live streams of all these new missions in these vault raids every time they come out, every week, until we've had all three. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And guys, remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below and all the YouTube members. They help keep this channel alive by paying for all the internet connection, paying for atoms, paying for DLC, paying for games and everything like that. And you get some amazing benefits as well, including behind the scenes videos. You get weekly updates and all kinds of really cool things like early videos. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been the final render and you've been the audience. Until next time, farewell.